with the absolute insanity that is sealed One Piece TCG product, is the game right now way too expensive to play? Let's find out. Right, to help us answer the question if the game is too expensive to play right now, we're going to have a look at TCG Player. We're going to look at a few different things. We're going to start with the sealed product. Let's check it out. Let's have a look at cases of Romance Dawn. Here we can see a nice little graph of what's been happening with the prices. Around release, which is around the beginning of December, selling for around $1,300. And then it just picked up. And you can see the last one here that we got highlighted, last sale, was $2,300. That is a whole $1,000 jump, which is absolutely crazy. And guess what? Nothing is available. If we then, let's have a look at the booster boxes. So a single booster box. Once again, if we go around, pre-release was actually a lot cheaper than it was on release. So if we find release, we're looking around $122 on release. And then, yeah, just skyrocket jumped. We got the market price about $214. Not sure what these two sales are here. Someone got some nice steals there, some nice bargains. But as we can see before that, you're looking around $240. Now, if we jump over to eBay, I'm in Australia, so we're going to see some Australian prices here. This one, 12th of January is when I'm recording this video. This sold today, 334 Australian dollars, which is about 230 US, I believe. And then we're looking at these other ones sold yesterday, 320. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Now, if we look at the starter deck stuff as well, Luffy Straw Hat starter deck is the most expensive right now. It's ridiculous. We look at this little graph again on release. Where were we? About $18. Actually dipped all the way down to $17, and then it just skyrocketed. Looking at $39. Last sale, $50. Insane, absolutely insane. And we scroll down. Nothing's available. You can't buy it here in TCG Player. Insanity. If we look at Kaido, a starter deck, similar trends, but last sold $27, but nothing available right now on TCG Player. You just can't find sealed product right now. We have a look at the Kid starter deck, similar trend, last sold $29, but nothing is there right now. And lastly, Crocodile, similar trend as all the other stuff, was low, shot straight up, last sold $29, but nothing is there, nothing is left available. So we're going to have to turn to the single market, but does the single market follow the same trend as the seal stuff? Let's find out. So a great place to head over to get some deck lists is OnePieceTopDecks.com. I'll leave a link in the description. Other great places, YouTube, plenty of fantastic deck profiles out there. But if we head to the site, we go to deck lists over here, and then we can see we've got a section here for the Japanese meta, so they're a set ahead of us. But then here, if everywhere else in the world, English, we are clicking on here, and this brings up a nice list of some topping decks that have been submitted. So you can see we got some first places here, even some second place decks. So we're going to have a look at some of these lists, probably one of each color, and probably the dual color lore there as well. And we're going to see if going singles is going to be cheaper than the insanity that is sealed product, if you can even get your hands on some sealed product. And we're going to find out which deck, if there is a competitive deck that's the cheapest that you guys can play. So let's see what that is. So if we jump over first to the lore deck, so straight up, anything that's running red is gonna be expensive right now. And look, if you go alternate art route, let's just not worry about that. Let's go. We're gonna look at lowest rarity for prices. We're gonna use TCG Player market price to get the prices for these cards. So yeah, have a look here. So straight up, we can tell you things like your Zoro are going to be expensive. Your Monkey D. Luffy are going to be expensive. Your Lore are going to be expensive. Some of your starter deck stuff may be a bit expensive in here as well. But grand total for this deck, I've done a little bit of quick maths for you. if you were able to go and buy these cards at around market price, you might be able to find some of them cheaper, especially if you're in with some of the Facebook groups. You should be able to find those cards cheaper than what's listed there on TCG Player. But if you were able to go and buy this deck right here, you'd be looking to spend around $347 US, which is wild. And Australian, for my Australian buddies, about $500. That's just a little bit crazy. So, Lore, probably not worth it right now. Maybe something to come back that if you're lucky enough to get your hands on some sealed stuff, pulled the cards you need, got in early when singles weren't as expensive, at least for some of the red staples, the green staples, then you're in luck, you're cheering. So that is going to be our most expensive deck. The next one on that most expensive, so the next one down from Lore is going to be Zoro. Okay, so Zoro, we can take a quick look at the list here so we can see things like your Zoro Rush is in there. You got your Monkey D. Luffy Rushes, which is in there. A few starter deck cards, especially your Jet Pistol. That's going to be an expensive one right there. But yeah, that's this winning list right here. And the grand total US, if you were to buy all these cards at market value, you're looking at around 286 US dollars, which is about 410-ish Australian dollars. So still mad expensive, but not as insane as that Lore deck which we looked at. Coming in at third on this list of least expensive winning decks, we got the Eustace Kid, the Green Machine. So through here we got a few starter deck cards which will be a little bit expensive, like your Bonnie is going to be one of them. The other expensive cards we're looking at here, we're looking at Lore from Romance Dawn. That's an expensive one. Yeah, otherwise your Kid from Romance Dawn and your Kid from the starter deck, your next most expensive cards there. And grand total for this deck, if you were to buy all the singles, comes to 138 US dollars, around 200 Australian dollars. So much better than buying a sealed booster box. You can get a competitive deck for less than the price of a sealed booster box, which is nice. But you're not so nice spending that much money. Don't worry, they get cheaper. Let's go on to the next one. Right, the second least expensive deck that we've got from those winning lists is our old mate Doflamingo. Nothing is insanely expensive in this deck. Boa Hancock's your most expensive card, followed very closely by your Love Beam. They're probably, I think they're around 10 US each for those cards, and then everything else is nicely underneath that. So you have a few starter deck cards in here which will be a bit expensive because they're harder to get your hands on than the singles from Romance Dawn. But if you were to buy this deck as singles, you're looking at spending around 133 USD and about 190 Australian dollars. So a little bit better than Kid. Doflamingo, slept on deck. Not seeing as much play and success as the others, but this deck is really, really good. It'll take people by surprise, and you can see this is a winning list. It came first place, so definitely can get you some wins. And you've probably guessed it by now, the least expensive deck to build and play right now in the One Piece TCG is Kaido. So Kaido is a good mixture between starter deck and set 1 cards, and the most expensive card in your deck is the Queen from the starter deck. This is about $10, and you need to run 4 of them in this deck. Everything else is way lower than that. Your next most expensive card is the King, sitting around $5. You only need to run a couple of them, and then the next one would be the other King, similar, about $4.50, somewhere around there. But you're also only running a couple, not a full play set of that. And so grand total, if you were to build this deck, it comes to about 96 US dollars, which is about $138, $140 Australian, which is way nice. And that amount of money is reasonable. You'd probably spend that to get a normal booster box, at least here in Australia when it was around release. Much more reasonable than the insane prices right now. And Kaido is really competitive. Now, if that is still too expensive for you guys right now, just wait a couple weeks. We're going to get the new purple starter deck. It will help you with this current Kaido deck, make it even better for those that have it, that can afford it. But for those that can't, just pick up 2 when they come out. We'll have a little deck profile for a double starter deck of that one, and it actually goes fairly well. You can have a lot of fun with it. If you guys want us to keep an eye on prices of things, let us know in the comment section below. We're happy to do like a little market watch just to check out how things are going. Usually things will calm down after a set or 2 with new TCGs. Whenever there's big hype, it's hard to find, everyone wants to get it, things are going to be expensive, but stick with it. It'll get cheaper, it'll get easier for us players and for you collectors as well. But thank you so much for checking out today's video. Stay beautiful, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.